Boundaries is very important in establishing your identity and very crucial when it comes to your mental health. Boundaries can be physical, emotional, or rigid. Hi, my name is Pearl. Welcome back. Today I'm talking about how to set healthy boundaries. It's very important for us to set healthy boundaries when it comes to every aspect of our lives. It may be emotional, social, work, whatever. And boundaries can take as many forms. They can range from being strict, being rigid, or sometimes almost non-existent. And it's very important to set boundaries because it lets the other person know how to treat you and also helps you to know how to treat others. Now we are going to look at different types of boundaries and the different kinds of boundaries that people set. So, people with more rigid boundaries tend to treat people from a distance. They would say hi, but they would not go further. They don't want to have a conversation with you because they don't want you to get to know them. They don't want to share information about themselves. Other times, they may seem detached, even in an intimate relationship. Have you ever wondered why you in a relationship you find yourself asking if this person really loves me because the person doesn't want to share basic information about themselves. I mean, things that are just normal that you share with your partner in a relationship. They don't want to open up, they don't want to talk about their past. Sometimes it can be as a result of the fact that maybe they were betrayed in the past or they were abused in the past and they don't want to become vulnerable. They don't want to open up for fear of being vulnerable and for fear of being hurt again. Other times it's just because they are very secretive. So they don't want to share. They've just built this cocoon around themselves where they don't want to share anything about themselves with others. People with very strict or rigid boundaries have very few close relationships, and they don't even want to create close relationships at times because they feel that having a close relationship would entail them being vulnerable or being open. On the other hand, people with loose or open boundaries tend to be more involved. They want to know, what's up. They want to know if you're having a problem or not. They want to get involved in other people's problems. And so they are open. Another thing about them is that they tend to overshare information. And that's just the downside of it because who wants to have their business plastered all over social media just because somebody could not pipe down and keep his or her mouth shut? So people with loose or open boundaries tend to sometimes share sensitive information or personal information or information about others a lot. They don't know when to draw the line, they don't know when to shut up and stay quiet. Another thing about these kind of people is that they don't know how to say no to somebody. And this is just simply because they don't want to feel or to look bad or they're afraid of being rejected. I mean, come on, we found ourselves in these situations where you really don't want to do something, but just for the fact that, oh, maybe you don't want to be looked as a bad person, or you just into a relationship and maybe you get to meet the parents and they ask you to do something that you're not comfortable doing. You just want to do because you want to keep the peace. And it doesn't always turn out well. Sometimes it makes sense, but it doesn't always turn out well. And people with loose or rigid boundaries are fun. It's not like it's just a one-time thing, but they are fun of not being able to say no simply because they want to please people. Now, a person with healthy boundaries has this in mind, that they are clear about their intentions. And this is because they know that when they are clear about their intentions, it establishes a healthy behavioral pattern because it tells the other person what they want, and it also at the same time it spells how they treat other people. So it's like a two-way traffic. You are telling somebody this is what I want, and at the same time you know that this is how this person you can treat this person. You cannot say that, oh, I don't want to be touched anyhow, and you go around touching people anyhow. It doesn't speak well of you. It means that you're not respecting your own boundaries. So it is what it is. People with very healthy boundaries will share personal information. They will not overshare, and they will not share, and they will not undershare. They will not share too much, and they will not share too little. They know how to strike a balance and just balance things up. And they know when to shut up, they know when to speak. People with healthy boundaries also don't just want to know that their opinions, they value their opinion. People with healthy boundaries value their opinion, and they also value the opinion of others. It's not like, they are not easily swayed by the crowd. They know what they want, they know what their opinion about this situation is, yet they can respect another person's opinion, and they value it. They accept when others say no to them. There are some people that you cannot say no to. They throw a tantrum, they are going to be like, this is crazy. Some guys will even tell you, nobody says no to me. And I'm like, really? you know and because they have had instances where nobody says no to them, they would want to do everything to make sure that you don't say no. And sometimes it may even result in a rape, simply because nobody has ever said no to them, and now you're saying no to them, so they are going to do everything to get what they want. So somebody with healthy boundaries can accept, knows that it's okay when somebody says no, they respect that, and they can move with it. People with healthy boundaries understand that that their personal needs and wants should be communicated well. So they know what they need, they know what they want, and they know how to communicate it to whoever they want to communicate it to. So they don't just sit and imagine that because I'm twisting my face like this, somebody is just going to understand that I'm hungry. Maybe I've eaten too much and my tummy is hurting. That's why I'm twisting my face. And now if you come and give me food, that's not what I need. So they know what they want, and they know how to communicate their emotions or their feelings to others. Now, many people have mixed boundaries. Like they say, everyone has exceptions. You have other people with mixed boundaries, and this is as a result of the fact that some is because of culture, and other times it's just because of the kind of thing that they do. For instance, somebody will have different boundaries at work and different boundaries at home. You may see somebody having a rigid and strict boundary at work, but when it comes to the home, they are more relaxed, they are more welcoming, they are more outgoing, and all of that. Maybe it's just because they are somebody, they are dealing with people they are familiar with, and all of that. I'm not saying that you're not familiar with people at your job though, but there is a different level of interaction when it comes to dealing with people at home. And then sometimes culture also has to play with boundaries, because, for instance, somebody coming from a predominant Muslim society, where, let's say, they cover their head from their head to their toes. I'm talking about strict Muslim background, and then only their eyes are visible. If you want to go and talk on teenage education, and you go to that kind of community dress exposing your body, you're not going to be received. Why? Because they will feel like you're not respecting their boundaries. They'll feel like, but if you dress like them, you're going to you are not going to look as a threat to them. So because of their culture, it kind of restricts the kind of things that they'll do, and it creates a boundary. Now, we have different kinds of boundaries. Like I said, we have physical, we have sexual, we have intellectual, we have financial, we have emotional boundaries. And physical boundaries has to do with you and your personal space. There's some people who don't want to be touched anyhow. They don't want to, they respect their body, they cover it up, they don't want to be touched anyhow by people they don't know. And even if they know you, they would not want anybody touching their bodies except their hobbies. So if you meet somebody like that and you start touching that person in how, you're violating that person's boundary. So if you get to know that person and get to know that these are the person's boundaries, then you'll be able to respect. Other people feel more comfortable when they are affectionate. If you get affectionate with them in public, they can kiss in public, they can hold hands, and they can do all these things in public. And there are other people who, even in a relationship, will not even want to hold hands in public. It's just their personal values, and you have to respect their personal space. When it comes to sexual boundaries, this has to do with expectations concerning intimacy and sex. Now, you don't expect that there are certain things that you prefer when it comes to intimacy and when it comes to sex. And for you to discuss these issues with your partner, you just want to impose. I mean, I beg, let me say this in pidgin, that you are married and then you guys want to do action. And you guys want to do, you guys want to get freaky in the bedroom, and for some reason you have this style, like I would say, that you want your partner to try on you. And instead of talking about it with your partner, you just to see whether that person is comfortable with that activity, with that particular activity. You just engage and start forcing the person to do, to practice that kind of activity with you. How do you expect the person to feel? You are crossing a line, and it's the person's boundary, and the person may not be comfortable. So it's important to know what is comfortable. It has to do with touch, it has to do with comments, it has to do with certain things that make somebody uncomfortable. There are certain things, though you always have these arguments where some people say, I am born again, and my wife keeps on using certain I am born again. My wife keeps on using certain words in the bedroom and is telling me off. What should I do? It's just left for you guys to talk about it, and you guys will come to a common ground. Another boundary is intellectual boundary, meaning that people have different ideologies, what they believe in, different ideas in their heads, and you should learn to respect that. You may not accept it, but you can be respectful of it. Another one is emotional boundaries. This refers to a person's feelings. Now, somebody may not feel like, true, somebody may be in an intimate relationship with you, but may not feel ready to open up to you about certain things that may have happened to the person in the past, or what the person may have experienced in the past. It is left for you to respect the person's boundary, because maybe later, gradually, when the person gets to trust you, gets to know you, the person may feel comfortable to share that experience with you. But if you want to hound or pound or force the person to do that, it may create a problem which is not healthy. Another one has to do with an emotional boundary is has also to do with friends, because there are some friends that want to know everything about you, want to know the minute to minute details about your life, and want to pass your life like they're passing it through a microscope. It is not healthy, guys. Let's learn to respect people's privacy and people's boundaries. Another one is financial boundaries, and it has to do with money. First and foremost, it's very important to set boundaries when it comes to your money, when it comes to your finances. And then now you find situations, especially now in relationships, where a guy just borrows, or a lady just gives a guy 2 million simply because they are dating, and there is no commitment in that relationship. They are not even married. You just remove 2 million and just give a guy like that. Sister, simply because you guys have something in common. It doesn't even make sense. You need to be wise when it comes to your money. You need to set boundaries. I'm not saying that you cannot help somebody. If you're giving it as help, it is good. But if you're giving it as loan, or you're giving it because you are in that relationship, just know that the relationship breaks and your money is nowhere to be found. You would also be responsible for that. We should think things through before acting. We should not just act because we are emotional, or because we feel that we want to do. Like my junior brother always say that if he's spending his money, if he, like, for instance, if he helps a girl through school, he's doing it as if he would do to any other person he met on the street. Because the moment you start putting your mind that I am paying her through school so that she comes out tomorrow and marry me, and she doesn't marry you, but that you look for class, doesn't matter how born again you are. So it's very important that we set boundaries, especially when it comes to our finances. So this is all I had for you guys today. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you in my next video on how to set and maintain healthy boundaries. Have an amazing week. I love you guys so much. Bye bye.